Good evening, every pony and every creature. Welcome to tonight's podcast at DAG. As always, this is Dratta Arcana, and welcome to Dratta Talks. Alright, I have a special podcast for you guys tonight, and here's what it's going to be about, as I try to fix audio last second. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to make the best Alicorn that you can. Okay, before you guys say, but Dratta, Alicorns are overpowered, they're, reserved for only certain, people involved with the show, before you say anything else, let me explain. I have an Alicorn OC, and whenever I post this guy to any of the chats or any of the rooms, I get a lot of likes, a lot of loves. There's a lot of people that really adore my OC, and I've kind of shared his backstory a little bit, but it's a very cliche backstory. I didn't want to delve too deep into the backstory. And before people are like, so are you going to cover how to make a good backstory for an OC? No. There are plenty of videos out there by Time Daga, by Lightning Bliss, by so many in the analyst community about making Alicorn OCs. And Alicorn OCs are very, very touchy. You got part of the community that a lot of bronies are fine with people making Alicorn OCs. And then you have some other people that are like, don't make Alicorn OCs. They are lazy. Well, that's only partially true. You can make a good Alicorn OC. My own Dratta Arcana is an example, and I'll explain why later. But when making an Alicorn OC, you have to think, so we're not really going to talk about how to make a backstory, but how to design one. I'm not the best artist in the world, but I have very clear creative vision of what I want something to look like. Whenever I commission someone for art, whenever I do a commission for a plushie, whenever I get my OC drawn, I request usually very specifically of the artist what I want. That is, picture size, resolution, how I want the scene to look, as an example of Sorrowful Light. Granted, Sorrowful Light was not made perfectly because it was just one person working on the animation. I didn't want to put any more pressure on them to make it any more perfect. So you might get some resolution problems because of the number of times that video has been exported. Considering it was exported out of an animation software, then uploaded, then downloaded onto another computer, then imported into Adobe. It's a long thing. But normally, I request very specific things. And that's just me. You might be different. You might not have a clear creative vision on how to make an Alicorn OC or an OC in general. And the tips I'm going to share with you can apply to making any OC, not just Alicorns. So let's go ahead and jump into this. With the first off, there are several different Alicorn OCs. Now, keep in mind, none of this art is mine. It belongs to the artist, to the people who drew them. This is an example of an Alicorn OC that we see too much of. You got your black bat wings, it's a red-black tail, red eyes, black eyes. This is black and red is what you get when you're you don't know exactly what you want. Now, no offense to whoever's OC this is, but just know that we always move towards the darker themes, and I wouldn't call this, despite having the bat wings, that's a nice touch, but it is not the ideal Alicorn OC that you should make. And this is another example. This is another black and red OC. No offense to anyone who actually this is their OC, but we see this a lot. A lot of people design black and red OCs. It's so common. They're all over the place. Now, another thing that you don't want to do is take a character like Princess Luna and literally reskin her. This is a reskin, obviously, of Princess Luna, just in blue, black, and white colors. Blue and white are a very common OC color. Now, before everyone's like, but Dratta, your OC is blue and white. Look again. His mane and tail are blue and white, but it's a light white, and it's consistent with the rest of him. Also note that his actual skin color of his base is actually a silver. He's supposed to be a silver OC. Now, silver is harder to draw. It is not an easy color to make on anything. Painting or whatever, silver is one of those colors that's very awkward. So it makes it difficult when artists are trying to draw my OC. But going blue, white, and black, another thing that we see way too much. Now, no offense to whoever's OC this is. As always, I mean no offense, but this is a very generic OC. It's basically a Princess Luna reskin. Now, let's talk a little bit about some actually decent or well-designed OCs. Well, first, one more bad OC, actually. This is kind of in between. It's not the greatest OC, but it's not the worst that I've seen. Actually, it's fairly decent for an Alicorn. It's still red and black, but this is a little bit more personable because it's got the scarf. The cutie mark is, you know, actually kind of unique. And this is an example of a decent OC, but still sticking to the problems. Now, keep in mind, I don't know whose OC this is, so no offense to that person's OC, but keep in mind that using red and black is a very common thing, and you're not going to be the only one using a red and black Alicorn OC. Now for some actually good ones. Starting off with Lightning Bliss. This is the example of a well-designed Alicorn OC. And I asked Lightning if I could use this in my video. She said yes, so the credit goes to hers for her Alicorn OC. But this is an example of how you design an Alicorn OC. The rainbow color and the cutie mark are unique. The green eyes are well designed, and the accessory of the goggles aren't overwhelming. You don't feel like that your attention is drawn away from the Alicorn. It's obvious that she's an Alicorn, but what really makes this unique, this OC unique, is the extended tail. It's not a common ponytail. It's not used commonly. And in fact, I think that hers is Lightning Bliss is one of the few Alicorns that uses it. But the rainbow end of the tail and the mane are very unique, and the green eyes and the cutie mark are unique. So this is an example of a great Alicorn OC. Lightning Bliss obviously put time into her OC. Another example of a phenomenal OC is Loren Foust OC. She probably has one of the more popular OCs because she is the creator of the show, and she really should be the only one with an Alicorn OC, despite the fact I have one. But her OC is very, very well done. It's very basic. It's got a red mane, red tail. The cutie mark is perfect for her personality, and it's a white body with blue eyes. This is an example of a well-done Alicorn OC. Like, this is the prime example of what you need to do when you're designing your Alicorn. Okay, enough with other people's OCs. My own OC is an example and I'm not being biased. I'm basing this off of things that I have seen in posts and what's been posted of my OC so far. Note, I've been posting this OC in different chats at different times over the course of several months. I'm talking like months. It's been 4 to 5 months of posting this OC. And I'm not the greatest at designing something like Lightning Bliss, but notice something that's very simple. He's got a simple body, simple accessories. The accessories are just front hoof bracelets. They're not overbearing, but they're there, and they look good, and they're in the right place. Plus, they match his tail, mane, and his color. Now, the horn is very unique. The horn is what kind of separates. There are two things that separate him from the rest of the Alicorn OCs. The first is his horn. The second is the gold tipped wings. The gold might look out of place, but it's subtle. They're not there to. Basically, the idea was that his wings would, at the wingtips, would be kind of a tainted gold. Now, this is common among birds and other animals. The wingtips will be a different color than the actual wings, while the base of the feathers, the first part of the feathers by the joint, will be a very specific color. When you're bird watching, you look for the tips of the wings as well as the tip of the tail to identify the actual bird. Now, his mane is that white blue, but it's a kind of a light sky blue, and he's got blue eyes to match. So the way that this works is that the blue is not overbearing on the silver and white. Now, the gold tips don't take away from the fact that he's a silver and white OC, but they actually add a little flavor, and it's not overbearing on the eyes. The mane has little sparkles in it that look kind of like stars. So it's like his mane and tail kind of shimmer. Similar to, I'll get to explain how I designed him here in a moment. But the blue is not overbearing. The white is there, but there's not a lot of it. Now, how to design an OC? If you're like me, and you're having trouble designing an Alicorn or any OC, one thing to do is to look at characters from the show. Now, I'm going to use my own OC as an example. King Sombra, Princess Luna, and Queen Chrysalis. You can see these characters inside my OC. You'll notice that his mane is very similar to Princess Luna's mane. This was intentional. I wanted him to have kind of a similar flow of the mane as Princess Luna on certain angles. The horn was designed with the combination of Queen Chrysalis's horn and King Sombra's horn. And his tail was designed kind of similar to Princess Luna, but not to be a duplicate of Princess Luna. I took these three characters and were like, I want to make an Alicorn OC, so how do I combine some of my favorite horn type and my favorite wings, my favorite mane style into one character? Now, things that I added in as my own OC were the gold tipped wings and the bracelets. Once again, accessories are a great way to separate out your OC. Just don't flood them with accessories. It's bad to do that. Choose them to have one accessory. For example, Lightning Bliss has her goggles. I have my bracelets. You don't need to give them a gazillion things to make them look good or look well done. And a lot of times, think about color combination and how those colors affect each thing. Silver, blue, and white go very, very well together. Silver's more of a gray, while white and blue generally go together, but you don't need to make them perfectly blue. There's various shades of blue that you can use. Like I use more of a aquamarine or sky blue. Now, keep in mind that the horn is unique because I combined King Sombra's curve at the top with Queen Chrysalis's style in her horn. I took the characters from the show that had the pieces of my OC in them and combined them together. Now, this might not be the most creative approach, but it's a good way to develop a decent Alicorn OC. So what does this mean? What does it mean to develop, when you develop your Alicorn OC, using proper color schemes? Certain colors go better together than others. And you can look at the color wheel for this. And it's all online information. You can use various information to get an idea of how to develop the color wheel. I went with blue, white, and silver because those just happen to be my favorite color combinations. But you want to look at maybe your favorite characters in the show. Like when you're developing a Pegasus, for example, you might choose several Pegasi throughout the show and see, aspects of each of them, whether it be a snout, a ear, an accessory they have, their tail color, or several tail colors. When designing an OC, it's important to keep in mind each of the individual sections of an OC. Now, I'm not saying that I have the best OC in the world, but I did take the time to develop a half-decent OC. In fact, I watched many of Ty and Daga's, Lightning Bliss's, a lot of the analyst community's views on Alicorn OCs. And as much as a lot of them tried to hint towards do not make an Alicorn OC, I knew I wanted an Alicorn OC. Does this mean that developing an Alicorn OC, you have to have a backstory? No. In fact, sometimes it's better just to not develop one. If you have a good-looking OC, an OC that's very appealing to the eyes, that's very good-looking, well-crafted, well done, and you have to be careful when making an Alicorn OC. You don't want to make a generic Alicorn OC. You don't want to copy everyone else. Because, seriously, there are enough red and black OCs to last this community a lifetime. But don't be discouraged if you want to make an Alicorn OC. Just be sure to develop a well-designed one. And it's simple. Look at all the creatures in this show. Look at every single one of them. And that can be a griffin's tail, a dragon's, horns. That can be, as simple as Chrysalis's horn. You could use Chrysalis's horn. You could use the Pony of Shadows, eyes or whatever. There are various ways in the show to develop a character. Keep in mind that keeping it as simple as possible is ideal. You'll notice that my channel generally has a blue, silver, white theme to it. And that's why my Alicorn is those colors. And of course, he has the gold wingtips that look out of place, but don't feel out of place. Like you normally wouldn't notice them, but they're there. If you have a subtle eye, you'll notice the gold wingtips. And when you see that, you're like, ah, that's clever. I didn't notice that. It's very easy to miss, and the subtle details like that are what make it a good OC. Just like Lightning Bliss's character, her OC, there's little things here and there that you may not notice. Whether it's the black in the front part of her mane and the rainbow part in the other side, or whether it's, the color of the goggles. There are just things that if you make subtle, like if you're going to add something that doesn't color well with the rest of your OC, then you need to make it subtle. You don't need to make like their wings a completely different color or make their mane 18 different colors. You don't need to do that. I know it's very common for people to have blue, white, silver OCs, but mine really does kind of stand out in the horn and the wingtips because I haven't seen a lot of Alicorn OCs or OCs in general have a horn like mine. So that's kind of how to make a good OC, or just how to make a good Alicorn OC. I wanted to get my feelings out there because I know a lot of people in the community say, don't make an Alicorn OC, don't make an Alicorn OC, don't make an Alicorn OC. Dratta is telling you Alicorn OCs are fine if you put the time into making them actually look decent. In fact, I think a lot of people don't notice that he's an Alicorn. It's so easy to miss. You don't exactly see the wings, which is why I started posting him with his wings extended, because you don't notice the wings, because a lot of times the gold tint kind of throws you off a little bit. And that was intentional. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you guys like this video, please feel free to subscribe and like this video. If you like the video, just like it. It helps me out a lot if you like these videos. It just lets me know what kind of content you guys are really interested in. And maybe I'll have more of these in the future. As always, this is Dratta Arcana, no but Dratta comments. And if you're looking to contact me, you can contact me via dratta.arcana@gmail.com or Dratta Arcana Gaming on Facebook. And as always, guys, I do now have a Discord. And we'll see you guys on the next podcast. Take care, every pony and every creature. Bye.